Okay, so I'm doing my project over choices. This is through Arkansas Tech. A course called Project Design. So, choices. Okay, so the background of Choices. Choices Pregnancy Resource Clinic was founded in 1991 by Sherry Berger and Maggie Simmons. It is a nonprofit Christian clinic that helps women who are experiencing unplanned pregnancy. It offers life-affirming counseling to women who are going through fear, confusion, or even relationships. In 2004, the clinic added a medical department which helped with pregnancy testing, limited ultrasounds, and medical referrals for clients. So, Choices PRC offers a program called Earn While You Learn, which is a program where women can come in, take classes, watch videos, they fill out worksheets, and they also take homework to earn some bucks for baby clothes, diapers, bottles, resources, car seats, and all that stuff. So, purpose of the project. The purpose of this project is to identify the importance of promoting and advertising within a nonprofit organization. So how can people promote better to earn more sponsors or more donors, or how can people get the name out there? So clients receive free help along with free resources, which comes from the sponsors and donors. And without promoting or advertising Choices, the donors and sponsors cannot increase or not even know what Choices is about. So the problem with this is Choices has already more than doubled in their clients than last year. As the business grows, so does the resources and also the funds. The problem is figuring out the best way to promote Choices. What do people want? What is their opinions on things to increase the sponsors and donors? And if the problem isn't resolved, then this could result in decreased funds, not having a building, no medical equipment, or possibly go out of business. So the research methods and the procedures, what I did is I created a survey to get opinions on what the best way to promote Choices is. I distributed surveys to 5 donors, 5 volunteers, and 5 workers, and then 5 civilians. So after I distributed them, I collected them all, and then I reviewed them and I looked at the results. So these next few slides are going to be what I put on the slide. So the survey sample is, number 1, have you heard of Choices? They can either answer yes or no. Number 2, have you ever been a part or helped with Choices? They said yes, no, or some of them didn't answer because they've never heard of Choices. Have you ever donated? Same thing. Some people put yes, some people put no, or no answer. Number 4, how did you hear about Choices? Word of mouth, social media, or entertainment. Number 5, if you're a donor, why did you choose to donate? And they believe that Choices made a difference in other lives. They were told by a church or someone that this is a great organization, they need to donate, or they just wanted an organization to donate to. So what was the driving force for you to donate to Choices? And the answers were they were either impacted, someone they knew they were impacted, or you heard of what a life-changing organization Choices is. Question 7, what do you think the most effective way to promote Choices is? And this is like social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or word of mouth, talking to people, or entertainment such as like a commercial or maybe a video of some sort, which is those answers that they got to pick from. 8, do you feel like Choices does a good way in promoting and advertising? Yes or no. What is something you wish Choices did to see what they're about? And they either shared more stories of like lives that were impacted, or where people might have known someone who was impacted by it, go to more schools or events that are around locally, or have a commercial. Have you ever heard of people whose lives have been changed with Choices? And they either answered yes or no. So how does Choices get their funding? You're not sure, through government or through sponsors and donors. Number 12, how is the funding used for Choices? You're either not aware of the funds, it goes back into the organizations to get more help, or it goes to the employees only. 13, what would you be willing to donate or donate more if you knew what funds were going to save a life? And people would put yes or no. Do you think Choices is well known around Russellville? Yes or no. So the results here, this is a graph that shows every answer and the percentage of what people picked in that answer, which we'll go over that in the next slide. Okay, so number one, when they were asked if they heard of choices, 85% said yes, 15% said no. Have you ever been a part of choices? 80% of people said yes, and 20% said they have not. 65% of people said that they've donated choices before, 35% said no. 85% heard what choices was through word of mouth. 5% of people heard through social media, and 10% said they didn't have an answer. So, 60% donated because they believe choices make a difference in many lives. 5% were told to donate because of someone. 5% just wanted to have an organization to do, or 30% didn't answer. 5% of people donated because they were impacted by choices. 10% of them knew someone that they were impacted, or 55% heard what a life-changing organization choices is. 55% of people think that word of the mouth is the most effective way to promote, and I thought this was interesting because usually you would think that social media would probably be the best way to get a business out there, promote things, but people said they want to hear about it through the word of mouth. And that way it can be more personal, more relational. 45% said that social media is the best way to get the name out there. 50% said Choices does a good way of promoting, and 50% said Choices don't do a good way of promoting. 40% wish that Choices would share more stories about lives that have changed or someone that they knew. 30% wish Choices did more events, go to schools, speak to girls or even young men about what we're about. 30% wish Choices had a commercial. 80% of they heard through the lives that have been changed through Choices. 20% haven't heard, and 25% were unsure. 25% unsure. 75% through sponsors and donors. Okay, so 30% is not aware of where the funds go. They don't know, and mainly most of this is because they've never heard of Choices before. 70% believe fundings go back into an organization. 95% of people said that they were willing to donate if they knew what the funds were going to. For example, they knew that their funds were going to resources, helping more clients, or helping local communities do other events. 5% said they wouldn't. 45% said Choices is well known around Russellville. 55% said Choices is not well known around Russellville. So, in the findings, everyone completed a survey, and they were on board with the survey, so that's good. Everyone wanted to take it. Everyone was interested in what it was about. However, there was only a small sample size, so this kind of affects the research. The conclusions indicated that as familiar as people were with Choices, they feel like the organizations could use some more promotion or advertising. Specifically, they want to know what's going on around there, the lives that are being changed. This can affect the donations because people said if they saw more about this organization and how they changed lives, they'd be willing to donate or donate more. So here I have a recommended action plan that could be that I took from the surveys and opinions that I've asked people. So promote more by word of mouth and social media, maybe doing more events, such as like some local events around here, just talking to people, telling them what we're about. Social media, make more posts to where it comes out every single day, on Facebook, on Instagram, and even Twitter. Do more events around the town and go to more schools. I think the schools can just help the kids, and the kids can also tell their parents. Just to know that there is an option here in Choices, or in Russellville for Choices. Possibly have a commercial. I know a lot of people do still watch TV, so having a commercial can not only get our name out there, but again, show what's going on in the organizations. Share more stories of the lives that have been changed, word of mouth, social media, and then do a follow-up survey later to see if more people have heard about it or they are willing to donate. Okay, and here is a graph of maybe a timeline of what we can do for these. Like phase 1, we have sharing stories on social media about a woman's life being changed, or how they went through Choices, what all happened in Choices, how long. This can kind of take about 3 to 5 months, getting the people to do it, getting their stories written down. The cost is 0. It's not going to cost. A lot of people are probably more than willing to talk to you. Feasible, very, it's easy. Urgency, I think it's number one because, again, that's what people, relationally, that's how they get more affected. Phase 2, go to more events. Maybe see or talk to people like River Valley Leader or the Courier that we can see events going on around here and try to get ourselves in there and go into more schools. This can take about 6 months depending on the events and depending on when we can get into schools. This costs covered through donations. We just ask that this is what we're wanting to do, this is what we're willing to do, and the impacts that it's going to make. Very feasible. And again, it's urgent, but I think that there's more things that can be done before this, such as phase 3, which is a commercial. Again, everyone still watches TV pretty much, and when you have a local commercial, we can tell what the building is about, what we offer, stories that have been changed. This is going to take 4 to 5 months, and of course the goal would be covered through donations. We ask people, this is what we're wanting, get our name out there as churches, ask people that we know who does videography stuff. So sorry. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, so, and 4, it's a follow-up survey. The survey will just ask to see if they've seen any changes, or we even see any increase in donations and sponsorships. This can take about 8 months because of the process that we would have to do in order to get there. Cost 0, very easy to make a survey. Again, it would probably be, on a scale from 0 to 3, urgency would be 2. Okay, so promoting and advertising choices better can not only help us gain sponsors, but can also help save more lives. This recommended plan is not only feasible, but inexpensive, and it's urgent. And that is my presentation. Do you have any questions for me?
You don't?
Okay.